All right, Paul, you guys obviously get out to a big lead, 17 points, the largest lead at one point. What changed from the first half to the second half that was allowed them to get back in the game and win?
I thought the end of the first half, unfortunately, started it. They made those 2 threes in the last couple minutes to cut it to 11, and just gave them a little momentum, took a little bit of the wind out of our sails. But I thought we managed it through about that first, I think it was that 11-minute media. We were still in that 9-10 range. And I thought we just kind of held off a couple of runs, but they just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And unfortunately, I just thought we ran out of gas. We just didn't quite have the defensive effort we needed down the stretch and ball screens. And, their size gave us problems. And then you start to worry about the size, and they make shots. And, they had some other guys. I thought we really keyed in on their shooters well. But, for Hart and Holland to kind of come in and make those shots, it makes them a tough guard.
Are you happy with what you did with New Williams early? I mean, it was 1 for 10 at some point.
He's such a prolific shooter. He can make them in bunches when you play great defense, and then there's times he misses them, and he just happened to miss them. When you're playing a shooter of that caliber, you're just doing the best job you possibly can. And you might go through a stretch where you're playing great defense and it's still going in, and maybe not so great defense, and you just get a couple of bounces.
All right, before I talk to you about some of your players specifically, I'm curious where you guys are at right now in terms of, is this a moral victory? Is this team in a place to accept the fact that with 8 scholarship guys starting a walk-on, down 4 starters, you guys are up 17 points on the road, which hasn't, the road hasn't been kind to you guys, and just kind of ran out of gas.
There's tears in there, man. It feels like the last game of the season, just as far as the emotional drain and where they're at right now. And I can't thank them enough, man, for everything that they've done, everything that they're doing right now, the way they've held this thing together, the way they come out today and fight. I could come up with a lot of reasons why that didn't have to be the case, and I'm proud of them. I really am. These guys right here, to play 7 scholarship guys in a game and to be where we're at and to have basically a shot to win the game multiple times and not quite go down, you can't ask for much more than that.
Have you seen that reaction in any of the previous losses, or did this one seem to hit a little bit harder?
We've had a great few days. We had our best practice of the season yesterday. I think they've been really connected, really united, and they're trying. They want to do well for themselves, for our team, for a lot of different reasons, and they're giving it what they got. And I thought, obviously the game's 34 minutes, we win. We tried to hold on as long as we could, and I thought we were doing everything we could ourselves, calling timeouts, doing everything we could to kind of stop the bleeding for that end of the game. But you got to credit Fresno. They had a terrific finish. They have a great basketball team, and they showed it tonight.
There was one stretch right after Zane picked up his 3rd foul where you sent him to the bench. He had to get a breather, obviously. He can't play the whole game, and he did just pick up his 3rd foul, but that seemed to be when they maybe took the momentum away for the final time, and that was late in the second half. Do you remember that stretch?
Yeah, we were subbing guys mostly for rest, a lot of different periods. I think defensively, he's asked to do a lot right now, Zane, offensive and defensive end, and we need those legs for him to be able to hopefully finish a game, which is what we needed. I didn't think he could play the whole 20 minutes of the second half, and we had to get him a rest, and Corey's in the same boat, and we're trying to keep them fresh to finish the game. It just, unfortunately, wasn't enough.
All right, Keith, big minutes, obviously, and hits 6 threes. He is a streaky guy, and he might have games like that, might have games on the other side of the ledger. Is he a guy, though, that you guys sort of need down the stretch?
Right now, given who we have, obviously, yes. He has to play a huge role for us, much bigger than he's had to play all year, and probably even last year. So it's a new spot for him to be in. I'm really happy with how he played tonight. And I thought his defensive energy was good, too. Unfortunately, that second half, when it wasn't really our offense that let us down, we took care of the basketball. We had good possessions. We shot a pretty steady percentage throughout the game. It was just our defense that opened up late, and we just had some gaping holes, and guys unfortunately just wore down, and Keith was not one of those.
One more on the game, rebounding. Orlando and Nate just, again, kind of dominate the boards. Is there anything to do at this point to fix the rebounding, or you can't really pick up a midseason transfer?
Yeah, for sure. We're trying. I think they had 2 offensive rebounds at the half. I don't know what they ended up with. 5 for the game.
Okay.
I thought the kids fought down there. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was their field goal percentage in the second half, particularly down that last 7-8 minutes. We just couldn't get enough stops. We tried zone, couple possessions. It worked once, didn't work another. We just didn't get enough stops down the stretch.
And now you do get Jaquan back from suspension this week. You have a week off till your next game. It is at home. Optimistically, Vance will probably come back too. I know it's not certain yet, but you guys may get Vance and Jaquan both back. Is this just to turn the page and put this stretch behind you kind of moment, or do you guys sort of is this what you are now?
Yeah.
That even with them back, are
Yeah.
you guys just a different team?
Honestly, I haven't. I mean, really, the last few days has just been picking up the pieces from our last game, which obviously was not a fun one by any means. Getting these guys to the point that we would compete and play hard today. I really haven't thought much past this game. I think now tonight and tomorrow we'll think about where this goes and maybe different adjustments we'll make, or guys that are coming back, and how we'll try and remake ourselves for Wyoming. But it could be our new norm, and we've got to find a way to understand that, respect that a little bit, and play a little differently to give ourselves the best chance to win. Or maybe it's the former, and we'll be able to kind of get back what we had, that magic, that moxie, that ability, and turn it that way. But I've been in a lot worse situations at this time of the year. I could come up with a lot of different scenarios. It's not ideal right now, but I still have a lot of faith with those guys and the other guys as well that are coming back.